Welcome to Life with Toya. If it's your first time here, I'm your girl Toya, and if not, let's get into this space first before we get into today's topic. This is my first actual official video in the Zen studio. So excited about it. My daughter and I actually had a sound healing class in here last week, and it was amazing. It was my first time having a sound healing session in my home, one, two, in a smaller, more enclosed space. So that was different. It was nice. It was beautiful. But this space is still coming along. It's still coming together. Right now, it is feasible, but this is my mind, body, and spirit room. This is why I call it the Zen Studio. This is where I will be creating. This is where I will be praying and meditating and feeding myself spiritually. And this will also be where I will be pouring into my body physically via exercise and yoga and, all the things, right? So I'm so excited about this room, and I'm so excited to be able to create this Q&A in here with you guys. So before we get started, you already know how we do. We get us something to drink. And today I am on my Belly Well drink. This is cucumber and lime. Okay, let's get into this. If you have seen the topic, you know what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about masks. Okay, we have all worn them to say that we're fine, to keep the peace, to appear okay, to protect our hearts. But soft girl season is about pulling the mask down. It's time to take them off and show up authentically as our true selves. This is about letting yourself be seen, loved, and accepted just as you are. So today we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. We're going to do it Q&A style. I'm going to pop a question up or ask the question, and we're going to dive into it. Question number 1. What mask do you think you wear the most? For me, I'm going to say it's the I'm fine mask. I have always had to be strong. I've always had to put others' needs and wants before my own. And these past couple of years, I have actually been breaking out of that. A lot of people think that I can handle it all, that I don't get tired, and I can't handle it all, and I do get tired. I'm just so used to having to do things and having to show up for people even when I didn't want to. And so I would parade around as if I'm fine and knowing deep down I wasn't. As the oldest of 3, I've always had to be the fixer. I've always had to take care of other people. And I'm finally in a space where I don't have to do that anymore. And it's a little liberating. It's freeing. But on the other end of that, the strength became my mask. It became harder for me to ask for help because when I did ask for help, help was not afforded to me the way it was afforded to my siblings. So I would ask for help. I would say, hey, this is what's happening. And I would get an and, or you have to figure it out. Another sibling can have the same exact scenario and they would get a handout or they would get help. So it became implanted in me that it's me against the world, that no one would be there to help me and I would have to figure it out. The good thing about that is that in the event that anything happens, I'm going to be okay. I'm always going to make sure that I am okay. So that is a positive aspect of that. But at the same time, it makes it hard for me to reach out for help. It makes it hard for me to say, hey, I need this, or can I have that? In the event that I do ask for help and the answer is no, it's like it reaffirms that lie that I've been brought up into. Because I do have friends and family who are able to help me when they can. And if they can't, it's still my responsibility and I just have to suck it up and figure it out. So my takeaway from this is that it is okay to be strong, but still want softness. Okay, moving on. We started out kind of deep, didn't we? Moving on to question number 2. Why do we keep wearing the mask even when it's heavy? That is a good one. I feel like we wear the mask because we feel like it protects us. So for me saying I'm fine, I don't need any help, it protects me from someone else saying that they can't help me and me having to deal with it. So, and I believe that was another reason too why I was like adamant about marriage, because I felt like I wouldn't have to be the one to hold it all together. I could lean on someone else. Finally, for once in my life, I couldn't lean on anybody as a kid because, my biological dad wasn't there. Even though I had a stepdad in the house, his level of love toward me was not the same as toward his child. That's a whole nother story. And then I felt like my mom was punishing me because she was a baby when she had me. So it was like punishing me for existing, pretty much. I've always had to be strong for myself. And not only had I had to be strong for myself, I had two siblings that I had to pretty much take care of, babysit, all of this. And then I graduated high school and was pregnant, and that wasn't enough. Listen, if you're younger and you're watching this, a baby is not going to keep a man. And sometimes that baby will make a man act up into a point to where he's not going to be around because he's in and out of trouble. Okay. So that was my experience. Don't have any babies unless you're with someone who is stable and shows themselves dependable. Okay, don't have a baby with someone who is not dependable. Being a single parent is one of the hardest things, and I would not wish it on my worst enemy. Thank God I did have a little bit of a village who was able to help, but I can only imagine like having zero help, and the father is really nowhere to be found, and everything depends on you. I feel like too, another reason why we wear the mask is that we don't have to be vulnerable. We don't have to explain ourselves to other people. We don't have to be disappointed. Like, for instance, I would say I'm fine and I would figure it out, because if I reached out and asked and they said no, I would be thoroughly disappointed, especially when I see other people asking for help. And it's like they get it, but everybody is dealt different cards, and you just have to play the hand that you're dealt. I also too feel like we wear masks so that we can feel like we're going through the world unbothered, or at least pretend that we are unbothered. There was it a Morion? Somebody was like, "That's how unbothered I want to be," and it's like, but is he really unbothered, or is he wearing a mask that appears that he's unbothered when he's actually bothered? I don't know. I don't even remember what that whole situation was. But I do want to say that pretending does not heal us, it hides us. So there's something to think about. My takeaway from that is that wearing a mask keeps us safe, but it also keeps us unseen. Before I move on to this last question, I do want to make it abundantly clear that I am just sharing my life and how I was able to move on and live a more fulfilling life by analyzing and digging into these things, because I had to look at myself and say, okay, why are you so angry about this? And why are you so angry about that? And granted, this person can't control what happens to them. You can control how you respond to what happens to you. And if you have to be strong, you just have to be strong until you get to a point where you no longer have to be strong. And Lord, I am praying that we can get to that point sooner rather than later, but it would be nice to just not have to carry the weight of everybody else on your shoulder, when it almost kind of sometimes feels like no one is there for you. You're there for everyone else, but no one is there for you. Sometimes it feels that way. So this is why you have to build your own community of friends who pour into you as well as you pour into them. And one of the things that I am doing in dating now is that I am looking to make sure I'm vetting the guy to make sure that he's going to be a good fit for me. Like, you're going to pour into me as well as not just suck me dry of everything that I pour into you. I am removing the mask. I am no longer pretending that I am okay with everything. If I don't like something, I am going to speak up about it. And I'm going to say, hey, this is not fair. This is not right. This makes me feel this way. What can we do to rectify it? We're no longer hiding behind masks. And I just wanted to also share that I am not a professional. I'm just sharing my opinions and what has got me through. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, last question. What happens when we finally remove the mask? One thing that I have learned about removing the mask is that I'm able to finally breathe again. I'm finally able to feel. I can cry if I need to. I just don't have to be strong all of the time. And I actually get to rest. I've noticed that once I have removed the mask, I attract people, friends, and possible potential people who are attracted to me for me and not my performance. So this has allowed me to slow down, because I be gone, girl, but this allows me an opportunity to slow down, just take my time, have slow mornings, pour into myself more. I'm moving my body more. Girl, I've gotten down to 190 pounds. But yeah, I'm just finding ways to pour into myself. And so because I'm gonna pour into myself regardless of what my relationship status is. I'm gonna pour into myself until the day that I leave this earth. That's the plan. So there is no until. That is the until. So ways that I have been pouring into myself after removing the mask is that it allows me to do solo dating, learning more about myself, taking the time to discover what are my likes, what are my dislikes, what triggers me, what makes me feel loved. I don't have to wait on someone else to love me, right? And when someone else does come along and love me, I still love myself. I still pour into myself. So the floral arrangements, oh, I love doing that. I'm still trying to figure out what my favorite flower is, but I enjoy playing with that when I get the chance. I've tried a whole lot of different things. I've tried planting succulents. I've tried a latte art class, and that is hard. You got to be fast and quick, but I feel like the more you get it, you'll get it. But you only have like 30 seconds to create the art. I have tried a wheel pottery class, and I thought that it was something that I've always wanted to do, and I did it, I'm done with it. But you just learn more about yourself, and I'm so excited to learn what more could I learn about myself. So I'm always willing to try something at least once. I'm always willing to taste something at least twice because all cooks are not created equal. And I have learned about like what kind of flavors do I like in my foods, things like that. Like I'm just taking the time to remove the mask because sometimes when you wear a mask, you wear your mask for yourself too. You'll even lie to yourself. You'll even tell yourself you're fine when you're not. This is just something I've learned from personal experience. Okay. So my solo dates, my creativity has been part of me removing my mask. And I am choosing to be authentically me. I went to a retreat one time and we all got envelopes and you had to open the envelope and that was your word and that was the word that you were supposed to live by. Why is this making me want to cry? I don't know. That's weird. But anyway, see, I process stuff out loud. But the word that I got in my envelope, which I have no idea what the envelope is, but it's embedded in my brain. My word was unapologetic. And I was like, unapologetic? What? And I asked her, I was like, what does that mean? Like, because, apologetic means you apologize, and unapologetic means you don't apologize. And so I'm like, what does not apologizing have to do with how I live my life? And she was like, you just need to be authentically yourself and don't apologize for being you. And I was like, okay. And so now my word is unapologetic. And shortly after I received that word at the retreat or whatever is when I started doing the solo dating. Like now it's all coming together, y'all, because I hadn't put it together before. But that was when I started doing solo dating. My daughter had moved out shortly thereafter. And being an empty nester, like especially when you're single, like being a single empty nester, you are in a whole entire place by yourself, regardless of whether you've been single your whole entire life or you hit an empty nesting stage. It's just once you hit an empty nesting stage, you're just so used to someone else being in your space, and now it's like you're in your space by yourself, and it can get you to a place where you can yearn for someone else to be in your space. But being a single empty nester is like the best time to like dig into who you are and why you are the way you are. Dig into things that happened in your childhood that contributed to who you are today. Are those some things that you need to deconstruct, such as beliefs that you've been taught and now you realize that they're not true? Like one of the beliefs I was taught pretty much, and it wasn't like something that was said to me. It was just how I internalized how I was treated growing up. Me against the world. No one's gonna help you but you. Like if you can't even depend on your own nuclear family to help you, you can't depend on anyone to help you, sort of thing. But I have had like friends. I have had, you know, people to pour into me in ways, especially when I got sick with COVID. Like I had a whole lot of people to show up for me, but it's like, okay, it's because I created a community of people that I could rely on versus taking what was internalized from how I was raised as fact, as truth when it's not. I am worthy to be loved because I exist. I'm not worthy to be loved because of what I can do for you, what I can cook, what I can clean, what I can provide babysitting. I can provide, like, no, like, I am worthy of love because of who I am, not because of what I can do. So it's like during these times, you can actually dig into your past. You can do it with a therapist, and then you can uproot some of these things because I call them weeds, like my flower bed of life. So I call them weeds. My flower bed of life, I pull the weeds out. The weeds are things that have been kind of ingrained in me that are not true. And then I replace them with flowers, things that are true. Like I tell myself affirmations all the time. And because it's like, it is a process of having to retrain your brain and your subconscious to not believe things that were kind of rooted into you that are not true. And once you start embracing the real truths, your life tends to change for the better. This is just from experience. I'm just sharing my experience with you guys. I'm not a professional in this, but it is, and I believe everybody's experiences are different, but somewhat similar. So even though I was the oldest of three, I have eldest daughter syndrome is what they call it. Yours may be something else. Yours may be you're the baby and you were taught that everybody's going to always be there for you. And at the same time, that's not true. There's a middle ground. The middle ground is you have to take care of yourself because you are responsible to yourself, and that you can build a community of friends and family who can possibly be there for you. But it could also yield the same result, meaning that, okay, if I ask for help and they can't help me, I'm disappointed. But my disappointment is a little bit different because I'm used to people not helping me. Yours could be, I'm so used to getting help from everybody. Either you're going to ask for help and somebody can say, no, I ain't got it. And then now you're in your feelings about it because everybody always helps me. Or you may move along and try to find somebody else. But the case in point is that even though the scenarios are different, they yield somewhat similar results. Even though the experiences are different, the results are somewhat similar. And I may be able to handle it better because I'm so used to no one not helping me than you would be, being that you're used to people helping you. You know what I mean? You just got to take time to dig through your life, girl. So I say all that to say that I still choose to live authentically and unapologetically. And ever since I have done that, life has not been the same. If I want to do something, I do it. I don't wait on anybody else to go with me. If I'm having a bad day, I retreat. I just chill out at home until I can get through with it. If I'm having a good day and I want to be outside, I'm going to go and I'm going to be outside. And I consider myself an ambivert. I'm rambling now though, but I consider myself an ambivert because sometimes I appreciate being at home. Sometimes I appreciate being out, but I am definitely not a strictly 100% homebody. Give me like a weekend or two in the house. There is some time we need to be outside doing something. But the takeaway from question number 3. Oh my God, I think I talked about question number 3 for like 10 minutes. But my takeaway from question number 3 is that soft girl season is not about being fragile. It's about being free. I feel like that is the definition of real free will. So this season, I am done wearing masks that hide my softness. I am allowing my real self to breathe. And I believe that you should allow your real self to breathe as well. So this is the real self that is strong but tender, confident but still learning. Because I've said it before and I will say it again. Peace feels better than perfection. If you have made it this far in the video, I would like to thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every view. Hit that thumbs up if you like this kind of content and you would like to see more. And make sure that you subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you will be notified the next time I drop another video. I'll drop videos Sundays at 3 and Thursdays at 6. And until next time, enjoy life with Toya.